Well, thank you all a lot. I'm just, this is not my first experience with the clinic. I've been fortunate enough to have learned about the clinic, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I can't remember. And I've just been continuously impressed at how great they are. I've even sent a couple of friends who had no insurance, I didn't even make a big deal about it. I just said, go over to the clinic. I wasn't really doing investigative work, but I sent them anyway, and they were treated so great without any connection to me, and I was so impressed and delighted by that, and everybody that I've seen there, and they continue to expand and continue to serve so many people, and on such a a totally economical budget. There's no fat or grafting here. Truly, it's kind of remarkable. When I see all this and I have the experience, because in terms of politics and the current situation, it's hard. I learned very early that idealism was kind of, a little bit difficult, and I also realized that cynicism was equally foolish. And besides, these days, no matter how cynical you become, it's never enough to keep up. But when you see an organization like the Valley Community Clinic and you see them exist for 40 years and keep going through the worst possible times, I almost feel like there is a God, and that's something that has come that I really want to speak to you about, because I feel like a lot of people in the society have kind of co-opted God, but I'm beginning to think that God is like running a number on them. Because, Michelle Bachmann said that God told her to go to law school, and she went to Oral Roberts. If God wanted you to go to law school, he would have surely told you to go to Harvard. And so I'm feeling a lot more secure in that department now. Because I thought, well, what if they do have a direct line to God? But God is sort of I feel like God may be punking them. And worse than that, it's not easy. I know certainly not easy for a group like the Valley Community Clinic to keep rocking and rolling all these years, and money's so tight and things are so difficult. And I was saying to Judy Rose earlier tonight, I was saying, well, it's hard to get sponsors, because so many people, so many corporate people that might have been much more generous at one point, and even though in many cases they're holding a huge amount of money, it's kind of okay not to be so magnanimous or so generous, or at least pretend that you're generous. It's not needed. So I wanted to ask you all if you could, in addition to your ticket, could you cough up the $50 that your dinner cost? I personally am going to do that, but then I'm looking forward to that $9.99 deal from